Ni ombula do vata San Francisco me koti kenta vata tiku mai. Sa siva toka no ono e na tini ka walu na miniti vinaka na sema tiku mai na kavini kua kenta vaki kamni na sengai sema bo mai na kavini kua na kenta vaka tiku na nonda vulangi ndo kai. Mrs. Amele Tabuya Tarakinikini ni ombula vinaka no goeka.
Ni ombula vinaka na marang no goeka, vinaka vale na vesureti, yung may tabi na kavini kua. Bia bambula talanga vi kimni na warong tiko mai. O seng sotini klase be sotina puno randa warong mekina na nomdo randa warong na nomdo program. Yo bambu te binga na se burubura ni warong tik mekina bambula tiko ni mana East Coast Long Island, New York.
Totoka. Ke tōtou visi vitiko na tolu nei au, ai? Ndo wakamadhala taka tiko virna ndo sema tiko mai na wanua liwa mandanga ngo mereka na kena wakai tā mera, tō visi vitiko mandanga na vida nei au, ai? Ken bale asa wala kana tini viki mundo, eh?
Ia, o te toko na diwa, na rosa wula miniti, e wakangau niwa tiko talando tal na Zoom o Wabibina kini rani usata tok mando waraki utok sa utia sa tuk sermesa nango.
Vinaka valevu, vinaka tiko vi Mrs. Amele Tabuya Tarakinikini, nona wangalala te koe mau ke lani marama oso Sara, ka rao ni ndamai Veitalanoa kei na kavini kua, senga soti ni ndona kambimbi, ke rona Veitalanoa ni kina, o ke lani vunga vi kianda, ke lani da ke latu nda sana ko wakamadhala taka tiko yani, na so vi kianda, enda sana ke latu, se sanda na rongo ada tuna yado ya, Mr. Filipo Tarakinikini, so we can then the sena wulangi baka kina ia do tuku ni tu behind every successful man is a great woman. And sa reda ke tiko wa sa baka madala taka tiko nia na itabi ke de sa reba ke itabi tiko kina na turangongo Mr. Filipo Tarakinikini sa rauni da vaka taka tiko kia na itabi lewe nga rawa tiko yani o nona randini vale. Ai asaranga na vuna o usureti koe kina me kero me Veitalanoa na kavini kua, kauna kere koe me na wakamadhala teki koe mandeani me rauninda kila koe saramanda wakavinaka. Mbeleta ni rauninda kai, ke senga ngo na Mrs. Tarakinikini, a senga ni madhale na tiko e veo Mr. Tarakinikini na ngonango, eh? Se dhavam beka do munirai.
Naka na vale maram no gueka eu nungu koronga mai tiliva na kasaleka kandavu au vasu I no bubal nandurbesi tobu totoya lau. Ngonongo kito bati kito ngo New York no bukongani wingarabi yasa kito mbiwo no tumai na rotani o te rosa bulu na mbaki se kito mbiti mai na ronondol kandua. Vana nero ngone leo sa rua taltinga na makumui kerao.
Totoka, rua sanga bulu na mbaki samba unduan dina na ngona mbalavu na nomdo bimbi maya Mrs. Tarakinikini sa mai tiko ngai Amerika sen dua tal na banu ndo ali tiko kina.
Kito bimbi mai no bukuni vikadibi ni dhaka ngole mai tamikito mai secondment nga in United Nations ke New York kito ke kaso sera donu makana ambaki Sarava kasamtak na vikaya da mena nonda bonua ena ronondol kandua via woti toka ya na buavir na ronondol kito mani ngole mai batangania apply mai ndona taka na United Nations na lini tubu vale mani woti na interview solvi kwa na taka ka kito mbivo no mai neto na nomuto ko ni kito na miamba kitolunga me woti na secondment weekend na kilabina kana secondment kembala se tinga no mudaka mai viti me woti ngatolemba kito ngole tali viti ya na beka mayado ndota ni tuna numa sama ni mai resign na liline tubu vale kito mai tuike o te tolu rua roba da na mbaki ne to mai tiko New York O kila nandona ngona ya via diona vula, senga tuna daka mbleta na vikava politik ya adutik manonda panua. There was persecution against my husband in the United Nations. Samani mai siankina daka diona vula, ya kito itiku bolinga ike. Utina diona vula ya sangi sasangatali kina UN, me vangara daka. Manisol sarvi ko ando ngana short term contract na headquarters ngai ke New York to ngana vula apply sar kina ndo talangana daka mena United Nations e base ngai Jerusalem kito mbiamba ki vatu mai Jerusalem ina uti ke New York uti namba ki va Jerusalem kito manito ki sar in Nepal Nepal kenro mama India bat ki China kituli amba ki rotak nga Nepal sa kiritala ni mengoli Pakistan
by na UN
na UN chunga saman kito tinga na bitinani me kito bauti na vuli gay kito sa tuktal me New York ngono bata kito sana nama kita nga me kito satu kita nga Pakistan maniado na veivolvolute adutik me Pakistan ngone alebsar na bom sama ni vatokai kena tanambak va pertania Pakistan was declared a non-family duty station. Sama kita tu kita me New York na vitinani me kita me tiku kina sangendo nana dak tonga tami kita te ono na madawa ngande mai iyo kito sama tiko kia pa vitinani oti Pakistan vidaka ba i Sudan oti Sudan ngole Yemen oti Yemen ngole tali Tunisia Libya sangi apply talmen dona daka na United Nations headquarters solivona daka ya kuna utitini bono metiko kina nona tabitiku na bilute kitiko na tambani Middle East and North Africa medha nona torana na early retirement na December nyambak sawati nero nanumba biwiti ni mesa early retirement but situna ko bio sa mbalabu na tutan rusul lembaki na matevalu sama rusul katul lembaki na United Nations ko sangandra ba me sa listal na kor ikito sa babaro na lisiviti nerani lis tinidayali tu libno kanda sarayali ko una gelison goivit sa sindota lokila sartek buyali tik me na kor early retirement spend more time with the family sangol tal ngai na kor me ori reitum da na kor da boroni vibu kitukina ya ana nero nakinaki menge tunga na consultancy mbleta na nero ngonela ko ngondundua tigu na university na September ngo me bakanda klai ke America na bul tigu na September wati na June September
September nga sige wati ngango
September nga sige wati ngo iya sige ruting kono bula na tiku university mani iya sono ngono ndo bana nonda nondi nakinaki mani don makana December na mbexawoti lenga na tavingu ko ngoni ndondua wala ni California ngori le vador na viko viti me kauna ngoni mate viti ya December tik san don maktalanga no na torti kono na early retirement ngol talani viti na January kona nito ngole ni asale sawoti toki na vinding dingi inonda maten tu bongo bakani bono lele oviti ndage mbasi kangani sa ndasindo ni buni sa kileni ndatiko lakatalanga me na offer me listalme me ambassador ni nonda maten tu in United Nations we really didn't have time to think about it and jangan nikakiro nama kasi me apply kina se to really think we have even thought about this job in United Nations ko na ambassador may Veitalanoa kei viendo na radio sang bulwando na matintu era ko ti watati ko na matambosa leo ke burubur. Basta no nita bike sengola ngani dona matem tu sengani Amerika dondonga. Ya, na United Nations we dona raw dio sengabulu na member states so it's quite a big responsibility, and we honored that the government saw that we were good enough to represent Fiji here.
Totoka. Nagona sa tukuni ani kinea sa wakarita ki ani kina se sa ambiu ani na ofa se na dhaka ngoa manro wale mai ke roni no me matataka na matinitu viti wakadha mata mala diu kila ando liu nangona I'm sure e senga ni nona wakatule wanga wakateki koia o community talenga ke senga ni limu sanga bulu beka na pasende ondo sanga bulu se vit sanga bulu na pasende na wakatule waya na wakatauti ko vi community na ke na senga wakadam beka na no muni rai ni sala ko ya na Veitalanoa na veka divia
me wakanda club na ketu na irna nonda mata na via se burubura. Usually it's the Prime Minister's prerogative. It's a political appointment. Yo kero na vinding dingi sa utingo senga nindo na political party kero me bakami kero align kero kina yo. Sanda mitu bango sa alak tu na taka taba muretu na kada tu menanda banua. Pina vinding dingi sa utingo kero mdanga babietini. Nerongoli vitina chula mbak sauti seperti tikin nama tentu sarto deng kero le register me kero vinting ding yo singe matin ngone mo vinting ding itu ke I really wanted to vote so we encourage people to vote kero ya vitir nandu ke kiamam korana kandar bawel wel tu ngani kendani to ke kandar do bawel wel tak tu na vinting ding
dina
yan sauti kin da sange do bos kundur tik dona ka kero libador kirir na len buno go this is the time for us to speak menda le register da vinting ding and dona ka kero da ka kero let's make sa clutch kin kero na me vinting ding ba ko mena pepe ni vinting ding so we really started thinking of our country in Patanisa Kirukla, so what do you think men at the UN? He still had 2.5 years to go, but he decided to take early retirement. Nangona sa tukunikina po, tukunikina po, isa tukunokopyo, and dona sa tukiriming kopyo, umusali ambassador in New York. Part of me I was happy and part of me I was not. So it's a big responsibility. Sini tabi rara, tabi lewu, and sana me matataka non tabanua. And another thing is you begin to live a public life. Sa sini lawa nungungon wakate kiao, wakango ondambi tingo da Veitalanoa tiko. Singi lestum danga me Canada na singa kerongol dengan singa barua lestal men singa tambu mada video kerotik mengori California kerongol Canada lu singa mai na noa sotal na kabador na sikti lakota na dakana bongin ko ontor Veitalanoa tingo ko tok mai Washington DC ambet ni ngono ko sesang tikuni ndola nonda embassy Washington DC to DC na korturang Amerika, capital of the US. Dola na nonreto wali na Australian embassy. Yani ko United Nations Day.
Happy United Nations Day. Usengi baru tu
likewise. Niko United Nations Day. Sambi to me binone buke mengai reda na beka ngarabi na UN. Sango loko DC militi ko na kanan dola na nonreto wali o bambu tana Prime Minister talanga mi Australia tik talanga kin. Sabatu anandam bula yang go seringan ambula kirwa sangan rebekina merita itu tolo. While we still strong, we still can move, we still can do things. Me sarita so we can start doing other things. Yeah. Salak tu na Veitalanoa. Kelakian tana maramai. Yang dona kau terang ya vida na kemisau.
Bottom line
So every nice mbletani ngonang gi sulikina na offer me wana turang Prime Minister. Of course, I signed tako iti on a contract with kena IMF, International Monetary Fund, as a consultant. Sa non mo ko na consultancy ngo mena buki kendar no buliti ko na nondorungan nila wakanda club na Amerika na buli na university sa lewe.
Dina.
Sana diang gorani buki kendar me buliti ko perina gives me freedom o la ko bale una kor le sumai. Ya kita sa buli valiti na ronondol tin kava. So one good thing is that we didn't have to really move. We already have a house here. We already settled here. So in a way, we were happy. You know, I personally, I was happy that we could still spend time with our kids. Operina na toko university kirona len ranili ready ko wasoma, which means yom dangan go bakasam tak tu kerto sa tukia na ngone. O kero sa lako wasoma viti. Sali tigubu repair sama kena vale mai viti ni kero klats sana tigubu lako wasoma viti sa kau sana ya ni vale sambitu kia merendalak ngaya ni you feel like it's home and that's a big adjustment menda sanga menda lifestyle nonda bonua
dina
ni sanda mendente na mai tuwango you become you've got used to being spoiled. Everything is so easy here. Tarong tanga tarong yo mele ko na ranile mbulay biti.
Dina.
Yo rawa yo. The good thing that we still have our home in Fiji. I thought, you know, it's easy. Yang on sa kini biti ni sando ber na internet ni levuna
so nakadali sa nga ngay ber mai.
Iyo. Kakita nga dabi nakatsa ber. Everything you have to do, it's an effort. Kung ko rini dumdanga na bulay ang basik me o durungan ngo na supermarket le buli me dona ka totol nga din is ready. So but you know it's home for me. So I was willing to go back and get back into the life in Fiji. But still, we knew we had to live here most of our time. But then it's to in university. Young okay, let's just come back here the next 3 or 4 years and about to because this job, there's no security. If tomorrow they don't like you, they kick you out. You know, that's just the nature of this job. But so, like I said, part of me was happy. Another part of me, I had so many questions, and I just felt that my husband really wanted to serve. So if I decided to drag my feet, we know how to pull strings to make things work and to break things. So Congo, I mean, I always feel like I have my way a lot of times. My husband is always very
accommodating.
Very accommodating. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Sona bonua. This is his desire. He wants to serve his country. So I decided not to stand in the way. Ngono sa rede kinyo mateno tarin ko vida na ke misa. Sa tuwin mi kino tarong US dollars or Fijian dollars. Fijian dollars. Wow.
Yo vampimpi ni sakila tu sama indro yang bakiro sa gubuluto no tu ya America. You know what the value is,
So I asked, is it Fijian dollars or US dollars? Fijian dollars. O sa tuna sa rilele ni songko. Kakobyo Mele, this is not about money. This job is not about money. This job is about us serving our country. Yana tarbatal nga arto no lubian arto no ngon arto tarong ba Dad, how are you going to survive with that salary? God has always provided for us. We will be okay. We will survive. We will not have any problem. That's not to say that the government doesn't provide allowance to allow us to live here. But you know, we have a house here, we have a mortgage to pay. We have Perina, you know, university. I think 1 year is about 40 US thousand.
Gay New
That's
York tali, no
yeah,
mortgage.
that's just 1 year. I think that's like her father's salary for 1 year in
1
this
year.
job. Um,
Is
yeah. So,
totoka totoka.
those are the kind of things. And the wakasamta to return wakanda mi viti.
Mm.
And I was looking forward, but in Yasembulatik Nangaste, my father was still there. Uh, unfortunately, this year has been really roller coaster for me and for us as a family. From December,
Isandina
my sister
Sara.
died, and then August, my father died. February, March, he was offered this job, and then not only that, the job is offered, and then we still have to deal with people who are against this appointment. So sa tumanda na nonda kaya tutala na matagali lakatume na vibada dhani na but it's okay. Like we're used to it.
Dinai.
We're used
Totoka
to it, and
totoka.
and that's the life that you have to live. And the people, the Fiji citizens, have a right to speak because you are going to be representing them, and they need to have a say in who represents them. And it's the taxpayers' money that's going to pay your salary. So it's okay. They can talk. That's their right. But I can say one thing. I'm very confident that my husband, can represent Fiji to as best as he can. We see this as an honor. Onge wakasamtak nangona kirolistal kini viti mele swearing in, Ninda salak ko keto sabe ni na government house. Kero ko talma de lak mayor to na protocol. May tukuni me kerlewa watch ko na foreign affairs. Misa baro take care na kami government house. Kon madangan na yimbe na kakedo baro ta kami le tebu me tutuni swearing in. I didn't have to go in sa mikau, sa bakau sare sa tek bulaw ay nanong kumbul.
Oi.
Sa mikau na yimbe sa tugun me piao nandu ala ko na liku tamay nandu na li tebuka.
Oi oi.
Na katked ba sa lewe na bono mikro liwawa kina sa lewe na ngona tap kiro may piktik kin. Tiku wakila kya heu sana sinilawa na nungungunay. So sa kireo to nga
Public property.
ito, that's it. You become public property. Mealindar kunimbera. Ito naka sonongon dando bambim betu kenda na rendini bali sa tukuna batutolo mentek to nga me kwa namber. Kwa kirusami kau nano, there was so much going on in my mind, and then you look back at your life with all that you've been through and with all, I said, okay, now I enjoyed my private life. I can do whatever I like. Nangona sa dako tikina na ni sa takana swearing in. I was sitting there. Rto na permanent secretary my Prime Minister's office, permanent secretary in my Public Service Commission. Tiktal nga kino ambassador tiko itonga. Kirto na vida na nero guest na vale chikin na nungugase. So I was really pleased that my father was alive to to witness that ceremony. That really meant a lot to me. His sister was able to come. Nangona sa kina swearingin sa rongo din sa bosa ni taltala. Sang bandu nangula na bosa dabuto ko bikero na singa. Many are called, but few are chosen. Agi malalta ko na tabi sabado la tingo bikem draw. And even when I heard my husband holding the Bible and swearing, making a declaration that this is what he's going to do. Ewa kanga indo na dolo lewu.
Watangari mai.
Tangamay tambanda. Like I was a bit emotional because you just felt like a heavy load has just been placed on you. And when we walked out of that room, like mana turang president, na tamba matanga me oti ama kituli tamba. Sa leu mai o dia tamba bat ke kero. Tamba liu bat ke president. Tamba ke. So things are already dictated to you. And you begin to feel this is a calling. We become, our lives is now an open book. Well, it's always been an open book, but now it's even open for scrutiny. So, whatever we do now, it's to make Fiji proud. And we no longer decide anything for ourselves. Gomdangan do lak mikian and rebels and you go, madam, you are you government property. You belong to the government of Fiji. And when you really think about it, it's not something you take for granted. Because someone is given you a responsibility. Na bibambo tini turanga presidendi, na bibambo tini turanga prime minister, na bibambo tini matintu sa sulbikan. Whatever you do in private and in public, God is watching. So it's important that whatever we do, we know this makes God happy. This makes my government happy. Nanirungon madanga sa sini, I don't have much time with him. Sa lele nirungon ya na itabi ni dole itabi sa vanua ke sanda tosukin. Sa sinyo yuko sa tostiko sa sinyo Amele, sa sinyo Filipo, sa
tostiko biti dina.
So that's really how you are seen here. And whatever we do, we are representing our country. And we are flying the flag of our nation. And in the United Nations, it doesn't matter. The ambassador for the US, ambassador for Canada, ambassador for the United Kingdom, ambassador for Fiji, they all have the same status. We all have the same vote in the United Nations, one vote. So we must not look down on ourselves. So we really don't take this job lightly. We take it seriously. The way we dress, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we speak to each other, in private, in public. And what matters is what we do privately, because whatever you do privately will somehow come out publicly. The Bible tells us, what we do privately, we will be rewarded publicly. And I must say, we really honored to represent our country, especially after being I don't want to use some words, I'm now thinking. But, when we look back, in the last 20 years, we've been away. We've been prepared for this job. With all that we've been through, God kept us away. God kept us away. And we know we were prepared for this job. I mean, the transition is so easy. We already live here. Our kids are all grown up and living their own lives. I'm not babysitting any child, only for my grandchildren, which I love doing. Nero itininga sa Chingona University. Sini tabi raw, tabi lewu, but it's doable.
Totoka. Ya sarangana kaya laku tiku may nunggu ba kasama na nunggu ba karungo di community ko ni nakalo sa ba karuta ki Roma. It seems like you've been refined to get to this point. Senga talindo me baka nga ni baka rita ka tiku maya senga talindo is more qualified than Mr. Tarakinikini me tora na itutungori and Mrs. Tarakinikini to be there right beside him.
Well, I don't I don't want to say, I say this with all sincerity, and we entitled to our opinion. We think we are ready. We think we can do the job, even after coming back here after the swearing in. You tend to, when you're in your quiet moments by yourself, you wonder, can we really do this job? Because when we go out to other, and I think back to our time in the military. Ni ngona kero ni netuta wuli may sendes le wul troni wali sendes. O chige la kutali na senior command course in England. And when you know the British system, there's a lot of training done for leaders.
Etiquette.
There's a lot of things you just can't do because you represent your people. That's how it is. Nanondangono sa sinrenda Vitalia taka. Nanonda wasa sa sinrenda wasa ba Vitalia. Nanda wasa me kilkili. Nanda wasa me rakorako. I mean, I'm human. I have my own inner circle of maybe not inner circle. What shall I say? My sister. I have some, few close friends that I can call friends, and I can tell you it's not more than 10, maybe 4 or 5 women that I can be myself with, and I'm not worried that I'm not going to be judged. So we all need that.
We all need that here.
We all need that. Not only me. We all need that. Someone that you can be yourself with. If you're angry, they're not going to talk about you. If you're crying, they'll cry with you. If you laugh, they'll laugh with you. Like I can just drop all my guards and just be myself. And we've been married for 33 years.
Wow.
We are each other's best friends. That's all. So I can be myself.
Amen to that.
I know I'm in a
safe bubble.
Yeah. And he can be himself, and he's in a protected zone, because leadership is not an easy role. Sometimes it's very, very lonely. That's the price you have to pay. And sometimes, you get to be misjudged, misunderstood, but that's okay. You yourself, you know what you're doing. And sometimes it's painful. And the sonongon the wrong than in the wastaki. It's made you. It's got you to to toughen up. And even coming to live in New York, I think after New York, everything is kind of like a step down. Yeah. When I left Fiji, I think I was a very different Amele. Like you said, God refines us to. So I think when I went back, if I was in Fiji, I would have been a very different person. Now, very different person. Of course, we've matured. We've made many mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. I'm not perfect, and I still haven't arrived. Every day I'm still doing
striving
things to myself. And you need company. You need people around you who can sharpen you. Like the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. So you need those kind of friends who can challenge you to be the best version of yourself. You're with friends that don't do that for you, then it's time to look for new set of friends.
Dina tō Au wakawili ka tiko na nomini post na dona singa ni ga imbita toka na nomundrau anniversary, wedding anniversary. Au o tali taka na itamba ni ambita mai baleta na nomundrau singa wakamau. Au turanga ni walu tiko na ngunea, commander tiko na ngunea, roni Ni waka madala taka mandea, au ngai waka samataka na wano nro sami biti ke mnro ki nangona kalo e rauni utukona. Isa, ke nro sangai tau iabu mai, na no nro tau iabu mantanga nro sa tau iabu ndonu mai. Ngai waka samatana wano nro sami tiki nango, ni waka rita ka mengo rekila so nangone lak me na visurate, if not on a weekly basis, with about a dinner appointment, and you having dinner with representatives from other countries, from governments. What better training than that? Sambo totokandina.
Yeah. When I look back, we all get wiser, we all mature as the years go by. I think I was 23. 23 kersa vamau. Kila namba kirusebul katul. Zabanda kilatu. Sinto nakanda kilatu namba kia. But at that age, we thought we knew everything. Kirungi vamau nga sa vilu tek tunitu tae. Ina ako sa commanding officer chicken na 3rd Battalion. Utingaya, kitu laksaringi lanti liamba kintua. Asa dua tikin nerongonela ko nerol matua. And I must say, it really provided me with the opportunity to learn. Gina nangone ya klase siang na YouTube, siang na Facebook, siang na FaceTime, siang na
internet.
Yeah, you want to learn anything, Google. Tapi kelas sang kebata menakakan Google. Pa kita umbiu ya kita laku ingilandi sehingga ibu la tolu tiku ne role matua maram tinang sa kireu serang mo umbi tu mai nangwan seseran ba buto ko ni onali rida tu ba nangwan ikut ne role matua ya mi bakani keru tumbutum sa kan will take our child with us sabi ngilandi mati mandangani bidana madaw merala ko na turani balu kona kalasili bulikina tamikito no na lako I Kimberley arto kalasi bataki Prince Andrew arto kalasi bataki na King of Jordan chungo
wow.
So it was they picked the best from every country even in the Commonwealth yo kito matataki lako may viti lewe na kai bibisa wala tu na menandrai kata-kata de la ko ingilandi bimbi tu menan December pasam tanan rek mi December kata-kata ave ingilandi namba tambata ko sa sinda karo so even the weather was a big challenge for me ti ko no ni pula tolungon wi ngono nang girti ko bal mo tarangi maram tinang mona da mesul kini bi ko na akan me ta ka ba Nando kanga no ko vi ya sakau chibi como bitu tu menang mone da ko ti ko kina but it was a learning experience for me kitu tu kya ko na ndala ko na be matentu everybody is proud of their own country
dina
ge bakasanta na allowance may bitti mi va comengor 10,000 Fijian dollars ngia the England is 3,000 pounds back nga and that's what we have to live with for what 3 months or something like that.
Wow.
Sa dosenga ngani biru tina ilawe sa ndako sotanga. Kung ano bulan ni bosotang the kandendren dali sotava. I used to go to thrift shops, kind of second-hand store to buy winter coats for myself, little things. Muna ro embesta chukini or tipeli nelitikau tiki dikuela marayo. They were the ambassadors in the UK. We're not going to talk in embassy, but we were far away from London. We were in Surrey. Yeah. Kunen tali libu na kandali bulita. Mateni ambak ni gali ambak indo tig ni rongonela o kero tig mengiland. Osage baka samtak tu ngo ke me vitingo tamani ongong na buaka zakana kakana ni senge ni role matu. I decided I'm going to make tea party. You know, in
England,
yeah. Tea party is nice, Yo singla tu mentanga nambuli cake. Sange lap ko yo be I think that was Sainsbury na then supermarket ya. Ako sange boleh main dalam magazine. Ko kena na recipe, sange ada may balo, sange may will na recipe. Sange boleh kita mana ikan ingredients. I've never baked in my whole entire life. Sarava na kita mani, bong ni singa, sange bake to yo. Salah ko chana bisureti, it's going to be a tea party. The birthday is a tea party. Eu kona sa tunga ba ingredients so sange baret to na recipe one by one Sanga na YouTube man Sarava ko na video and makes it easy for you to know what to do. Sa mateni birthday cake ko ba via do na butterfly lewe. Mateni no na simsu na rongonela do na butterfly. Bisa sabar bangun icing, they sini do ko na icing. Sebarang ako na icing, sarala ko pa ako na cake. Dalhin TV, ni salak sarbango mana follow. I had the wrong mix.
First time for everything,
First time for everything. More than ito, tapos likat ka ko na, sa siniset na icing. Kaya libulit ang ito na icing. Yung kung bata-bata ito ba?
Isa. Hindi makateka buwa.
Well man na icing. Given na yung bata-bata ito, kutanga na room ni mo dito, kindola ka itong balak ka. Tong katum bitu ni lom na keke me na condition na mitu because I said kina icing. Ono lagi ada mikina na me tea party. Bis sang bul na vi matanggal do ini tea sa tu kya come na birthday cake na kya na butterfly ribnaka. Ni rokongan klar na kya na kaya na butterfly cake. But like you said, it's the first time for everything, and that's the first time I ever baked a cake. Yeah, itu ngai vale. Vina, libu nongon da sini bulia.
Dina.
So I was thrown into leadership very early in my life. Ni ngona lapen kini na chikono songo ni army wives So na ni commanding officer ndono ni tabi na biluta kibirna redin sutia. What does a 23-year-old know to tell these women? I had no idea what to do with them. Ya vinaka ni tiku sana marama tinen sotia, sana marama rendin sotia saramatua sarme viau, sarne do babuli viau, na kame dakra wil tuwa tinangu. That was another experience. Nitu me tubango, nitu lakai nilanti na vibal balkim suriti kina. A lot of things you just learn. I mean, I don't come from a political family. My parents were never politicians or anything like that. So for me to be trained from home how to be an ambassador's wife, right?
Wow, amazing.
So the training is over the years, trial error, things work, things doesn't work, and just when you go through hardships, like I'm going to say to we had to go and rent one bedroom with three daughters and the two of us, 5 of us sleeping in one bedroom. Like at the time, that was not funny at all. But now I look back, so I can live up there, I can live down here. It doesn't matter.
And you'll be just fine.
Yes, and I'll be just fine. That's what keeps me grounded. I think the challenges that we've been through. I have no problem. Kelas na dala ko viti tumbu na dalolo man dari dirna wekanda go na vibaruta ki zakatumi weekend but we can't say that we decided to train ourselves. It's really the situations we've been thrown into that's trained ourselves. Kitumitu mandang iki libna bono li taktaktikina tamikito is non-family duty stations. So that means we cannot join him, but we're here in New York. So I become the mother and the father to the 4 girls. And then when he decided to move back home, it's still a challenge. It's like another stranger has come back home. Because I've got so used to being so independent to do things and decide for myself. Ngona sa postik listal mikin in New York. Those things have you all tako ko. Ono no mani ngona nongu closet, ngona nomu closet. Yung sare sa nomu yaya kelenga in both closets. So I had to make space again in my life that my husband is back.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was so used to just being independent, do my, get up in the morning, go with my friends, do my own thing. Then suddenly he's back in the house. So
Play wife
I have
tali.
to think of dinner. I have to think of, and one thing I liked about him being away, I didn't have to be ironing shirts or doing anything of that sort. Then when he moves back, there's shirts to be washed, there's shirts to be ironed. But I figured out, we sometimes kenda na maram so nungu ni kenda sandu da ka tunaka e bao they kenda. Then we get we get sickly. So you have to make your money work for you. So I decided I'm not doing any more shirt washing. I'm not doing any more ironing of that kind of thing. I can't because I'll become a slave in my
Kina.
Iyo. Then I don't have time for him. I don't have time for my children. When in duka ngana sote, rosa bula sote. Ko kiven na laundry. Lisava mekin. Let's mind.
Gearut ngana dola tu
So and it's cheaper than maybe using the electricity at home and the washing machine. You're using the water, the electricity.
Wear and tear on you.
Exactly. It's gonna cover I can get sa tosti kunambaki. When I was in my 20s, I would when they sleep, I would make sure the house is spick and span before I go back to sleep, before I go to bed. Merton diandraman vitamani sa sabatu na vale kakere. No, I can't do that anymore. My health comes first. I have to feel good. I have to be healthy so that I can serve my husband, I can serve my children, I can also serve people that God places in my life. Because I know the tunga. Na baka nda sami tunga. So nungon sandiya tunga na basanga. That's how we were trained. O talo tang mandam talo lasa. Mun kira sa gave you a tinkina. Kero ting me vale veronangase. O ya ni sartiko na torses ni tota. Chap servango na maramtinang. Yan nito na ako bostu nga ba toto e bikito serno ko bio. Ko bio na torses ko ni chuka. Ai, nani Filipo kasar ko lubengo. Dome de bia kai biko. Kua ni koya nia no na sulu kona nrakaikin. Lebe ko nga menya kasaryo. Hai, sangindo tal na babubuli zango re. Gono gitabio saba sinela kini no nangaraw na watiku menya no na sulu. Ya, sagito no ko ridi tamamunda usindo enia no ni sulu ko enia to kabaki kono ni sulu. Sakela wakamo nito tamina room. Sianga ando bena kata mi ko enia no nungu sulu batendo ya ni bokata. So now when I take my husband's clothes to the laundry, ndo baka something nungu nice. Pana pa puli da kwa kabio na.
Ja sen ke baka do tal na sananda rida. En dina sarana kai tukuna.
Kako bio lubengu rakai kina. Konan rakai kina kunya ni no nisul. Tive comendo nisul ke ko. Ya ngone ase kla. Se bernindo na ngone, se kirubutin se sangan na ngone. Ya satos tik nambaki. Saratu basi kemana ngone, gele bunga ngona. Sa Kito sama itu tani tu Mepitin da silang kata tuir nanda ne irati nanda lalai na kanda.
Tavalenta.
Kito na vinga rabi irati nanda lalai. Da sama itu bango you have nobody just yourself. Yendo na kai bina kini tu taya ko kemen wada bina no ovi tu mena taka ni sa suka mena kabi. Au sinkila how he does it. Yo ni sa ya kabi. I rest, I sleep. Que tenho na ngone, viso na pikini. Que bada tu no oda tu mene daka. E na tu dake. Viso na pikini. Daka na sudu, menguno wil na sudu na tavai, menguno na ngone. So we just have to kila ni sing to ko nungu itabi to ya we. To lak mnaka santo no ko kabi ko ba demo.
Finding that balance.
Ina ko garra virtu na kana ngone. Ni to mbimbi mai viti an dona ka ko stato na ko bio. Asa kiri ko mo kuni daka mo tip ngai vale. Nglatini nungu daka takes me out of the house. Ki kenda ali roro me pa ler to na balom na ngone. Sanga tiko mo garra virtu tiko na ngono yo ngau na le daka.
Totoka wakoti.
Teamwork, we have to help each other out, eh?
Dina.
Kasi sama na wawalengan na tina, dato yung mati. Bulan-bulan binako ira.
Bulan-bulan ke buni. Ni bulan-bulan binako sartongan ni kuah.
We have to help each other out. Otherwise,
sana kasuranga.
Bongo, eh? We really have to, it demands a lot of our time, eh? And every now and then we have to remind ourselves. Sandi dengon the sini tombale, and there's so much engagements. You just eat and eat. You can really lose it, eh? You forget to take care of yourself.
Dina saranga.
So it really requires a lot of discipline. Kaya kan demana kan darain bango, darain the ambassador mera look trim, look smart. That's Fiji. They're representing you. Intalag manamatival dondona kandu bambimbi kinea. So we've been taught we have no excuse. So now the ball is in our court for us to play according to the rules and really, but it's the personal discipline that really matters. What you do when no one else is looking.
Totoka watueti. Au ge wakasamataka ni wakanga na kai binaka kina ni tamai na mativalu rau talengan kona tambana ni tukuna tiu mingor sa levu na engagements na kana dage kilavi na katu na matangale ka kana and samai kania tuike so much cholesterol koya na kai binaka kina sanda va binaka tunga ge na wakatalani wakarita na vunuan rumai toka kinanguri New York. There's nothing else about that. Sa koe saratinga na vunuan do sa tiko kinanguri. Ote tinga ni nangutar me bakani sama itombo ki kianda rokosto ngauna na dava sarmanda na taro bakasama takatongo. Mai nangona ro tiko bumekina na Veitalanoa kei do Veitalanoa kei kina lebu nangona ni bakarita ki tumengori ni koe beauty ki mundo bakabitinani. He had to go out and work. Kila very challenging, eh? Dona tamani bole lebu sartu mandangaya na bula bakawati as a woman dava saramanda wakandita ki kemuni tu na nomun rombula bakawati na pida tolu sanga bulu lembaki ngosi tolu sanga bulu ka tolu tolu sanga bulu ka tolu lembaki. What kept you grounded in your marriage? Ke na veka dibi ke na vitampana ke de vingarabitu me kino koya.
Yo mate ni ka kanda na ito ki kanda kalunga tikin. Kanda ki sudunga me senda sustu me na lotu eh. And sometimes we really take it for granted that it becomes like just a ritual, and you take it for granted that you grow up knowing God until you've been put through those challenges. When your faith really has to be put to the test. So live na casa anda lapuduruma mai nanda mbula bukia nanda matua bukia talangana nanda kanibuli bikianda. Bikirao ba biwetini no marriage is perfect. I'm not a perfect person myself. But one thing I know, my husband is very patient. He's a very patient man. And very understanding. Donaka na nondando na matibol mandanga una kitustik mikini viti. Ruam danga namba ke ubiwal taktik wendo nogo sistango nogo tukan California. Kero kalasibata me dadli. Tunono koa ni metuike sa melanga na watina sinle siviti. O kabi ko yo tala metuike. Iba though we're here, but 10 years of that, my husband has been away. So he comes few days and he's gone again for 3 sometimes kaya sandrendra na lesumani lebu na takavaka. So nangula tola bulan da sinisota. Nalakula panoni sanai dona embaki da siang ni sota.
Dena.
Dona ka via umanda na matagaling bulan na matipalu lebu na mabuhay.
Dena.
That's one thing, you know, when the peacekeeping started, I don't think they really factored that in, that peacekeeping will cause a lot of broken
marriages, families.
And that's the price that our country had to pay with peacekeeping. Lebunangon na kitondo o bakasam takalisu, mataningon na li commanding officer kinokway lapanoni. Kung ano, sasang na Facebook, sandando bolo sandando to ano exercise book, bolo to bising na kakito da kapitig ba bitinani, nalaki na rotation ba ko na exercise book ate butal no bolo ani ate na ko wili tu.
Oi,
read that for the, but ni bola o chitundo na bola se rona bola benga ya.
Gayado.
So that's one thing that kept us going. Yan nangonya, o sa Sambimbi making a matevalo. So I spent like about 6, 7 years in the army. I left. Osali dakataka na telecom. And I'm going to take in a telecom. Trying to a fax machine.
Good.
I got one fax machine. Bought a fax machine. Mesalimbi vale. Osake no kuwa kasamo yo. Gome kitondo fax va vitinani. So every day we can just fax him. That's cheaper than the phone call. Because I don't want to save any money. I want to save my family. So anytime you want to talk to me, Italian na so live in Talibon, don't give me. Kito ngir to nga sinda nila kito marro na la ko ya. Kantak ni rola ko na so te na mona da kina peacekeeping. Each soldier, because some of the United Nations kinamatin tobiti, each soldier is paid $1,200 US. Yan ilabaya, may sumikil na nona salary, na nona arangi, na nona sulu, na kakit ka na balta na sweti anan tigmela puno. Yang ngonya, sendo nisawo tiketa, sangalibuanga. If I'm right, at that time was 11 Fijian dollars a day na allowance.
Wow.
So nakamain duinduki na nonra rank. O kanala bat kirna other ranks, yang nakain duinduki nonra allowance, tutu bat kit. Ngonongko sa kalungata sa Rasuleva, I think they get $150 a day. At that time, that was only $11. Kito na $11 after the end of the month. Alangan ng bill telephone sa Zoom. Sito na kaya marroy. Go back to the fax machine. Kito na bitinani, vimataka fax. Wako isang kandua. I always thought
that he was getting it.
New fax niya. O kwa na turma isang kandua. That the fax machine is wakanga kito chukibal na fax machine. Ni fax mo kwa kito tur. Yeah. Au na numu na fax machine chukona na bola se chukona na room ni na fax ngan whatever we say. O kwa nga na wilika. He never told us until he came back.
Iwilika toda na matevalo.
Ko isang abandon ko na biyaw. Ni kito fax chuka niya na bitinan ndo la ko chuka na ops room. Sa ko sa listal may biti sa may ndo na sig total chunge, and this issue came up this story. O kasaro, ha? Kimbal kito ndo fax niya sindo na kanbiko. Kasaro ko sina ndo la ko na ops room. Orto na klak, orto sangin do tur, orto lombing staple text sangin do ko nung office. Kimbala
irawili kang lombi.
Kasaro, kimbala irawili kit ka na nakakito wala yan. Kasaro ko, iyo. Why you didn't tell me this? Kasaro ko, sindo na ka ando wala yan, sini nandun mo ando wala yan. What I wanted was for my soldiers to see that the same loneliness, the same thing they go through, I'm also going through it. They miss their family, I miss my family. Their family misses them, my family too misses them. So I didn't want to tell you because you will stop sending me fax.
Sa antuan din na nariyaw ya. Yang nga nakaroon ni Dakaya.
Iyo, hindi ko nga ni we just have to communicate, eh? Ni kanda na to ke kando na kando cinema to we kanda na to dialogue, eh? To
Veitalanoa.
communicate, eh? I mean that's one thing we've learned. And earlier on in our marriage, we were put through this thing called the marriage encounter, marriage enrichment. Orto na
Matei walu?
yeah, senga
Oi.
the Catholic Church used to organize that for the Bransfield, eh? So we went through the marriage encounter twice. Even after the coup in 2000, our friends recommended we should go again and do a marriage encounter or marriage enrichment, which is what they say. And really, they taught us a skill that really helped us in our marriage. And that skill is to communicate. Even if you cannot talk to each other in person, na dialogue, we have to write letters to each other every day. And when you write, it's focused on you. It's not about complaining about your spouse, eh? Porque quando na kaura rautaka, au na sini vola bi ko mutukuna. Ikua au sin marutaka no mutukuna bi go, eh? Like instead of focusing on him, I will be focusing on myself. So the way I write, the way I communicate. Today I was upset, or today I was really feeling low because I realized that I did not do this. I did not do that. And I feel if I did this better, it would have helped you communicating yourself to me, you know? So
I think we all need that lesson.
Yeah. So I think that's really what helped us in our marriage, just to learn to communicate. Because whether we like it or not, in the marriage, and it's a done deal. There's no way we have to make the decision to stay in love. And it's not easy to love a person all the time, because the person has faults too. The person has mistakes. Right? So the person you saw when you were dating is not the person you see when you're living with them. Then the real person you see. So it's a decision you make, whether the person makes a mistake or the person talks nicely to you today or screams at you tomorrow. You still
have to love them.
The bottom line is that you've made the decision to stay together and make it work. No matter what mistakes you make, you will both work together to make it work. And I think that's a gift that was given to us very early on. The gift of dialogue, that we had to learn to talk to each other. And then sometimes personality. I like to talk. My husband doesn't like to talk. He'll only talk if he has to. So can you imagine two personalities and two strong-headed people living together? And two people from the military living together. That's why I had to leave. It was just too much hot-headed people living together. Doesn't work, yeah? Yeah. And then we all have to know our place. You know, sometimes so sometimes I have to know, okay, there's things I cannot cross. I think that's what I've learned in these 33 years. And we just continue to spoil each other, love each other. I still expect my flowers every Valentine, right? Even if it's somewhere else, like I remember in Nepal, to my Pakistan, buy some flowers and take it home for mom. Nerol mo to alangan matakle sa bulisin ko tu ko tu ko rubul ngi sukna bul ngi ko tu me sama like tun sin ko man. This is from all of us, from the other us. So you know those kind of funny experiences, but those are.
But you know there was thought put into it, eh?
So no one melak melibul sin ko niyo to tak sin ko, eh? So I think I used to buy flowers to someone who knows how to do flowers, and I can tell you spend more money on the flowers. Just give me the money, don't buy me flowers.
The little things, eh?
Sorry, I've been rattling off. Maybe I've gone off topic. So
toka saranga vakoti. Saranga no stu ni nungu kerekium ni ani mendorumi Veitalanoa. Baleta ni lewe na reitunga yani Mrs. Amele Tabuya Tarakinikini sa koesar tungaya. But it's just such a beautiful thing. Men, the Veitalanoa, who is Mrs. Amele Tabuya, because ke kai senga koe na senga talenga ni au senga ni wakambauta ni na tu e na vanua ili tukina o Mr. Filipo Tabuya. That's why o wawini bina ka wakalibu wiki mani na nomuni ngona nondoro Veitalanoa nei kawini kua. So o nui taka ni wiki mani na sema tiku mai wiki mani o ni na geli rongoda talembeka na ni Veitalanoa go e na dua tali na ngona ni Round you nina wuli the lewu sara na kai ndu tuku nina wasa wawalangi so much nuggets e na nomuni wakamadhala nei kawini kua. Beranga ni ndaru mai vi wakamode taki ndu mbeka ndu tali na kau ni via wasia vi ira sema tiku mai vi ira tali ngari na gele ka wakarongoda na nondaru Veitalanoa.
Walu nak nga ni sol langona me ro visuriti mai mo mai Veitai na kawini kua. There's nothing special about me, but I'm just really grateful ni donongonongo dormi Veitalanoa, and I know a lot of times we don't want to share things about our lives, so I've been very open in sharing some of my own personal stories. Dona kaya mi kenda ndo bakasam take sono no kenda ndo sengani be wasia kia na kanda kilai rendo bulikina so talo tokani. But now when I look back, you really sunugo bula ina volto madanga tukuna kenda na the older, shall I say, the
generations,
but the wiser generation.
The wiser.
We've been, we've been through the mill and we've been refined. We've been trained, and let's not keep it to ourselves. It's meant for a reason, for us to share it with the younger generation. And that's one thing I've learned. Now, in the lakon wango ibiti, ko kena do redek to be sayali. Saraya lamaram tinanda, irnanda nei. Sa vakabango na songo, sa kenta sarangango sa the next generation.
Sa kena matua,
sa nda matua chikumai, sa vakna bikam na songo, sa nda bire kisen, sa kenta sarangango sa generation in bikam, even though we don't want to go and sit there. So one thing I've learned, that every time I see Morido Nangone, the robots, I try to give a nugget. I try to say a positive word to that person. But then don't kairna lubianda. You're not really kanta. They see all our weaknesses. They know everything good and bad about us. We're a mirror, and we're an open book to our kids, so they know you inside out.
Inside out.
Sometimes the solely advice we rare sin we wrong. Wakando tukun bertuna no kunganelo. Na tomundo ra bankariko no United Nations mera care bakasal. You can tell me vale and do tanya. They just see you as mom and dad. They don't see you as someone who's worthy to give them advice. But everything I've learned along the way, if I can say one good word to a person, to a young person, that makes my day. And I think we all can do that, like brighten up somebody's day just by saying a good word, say a blessing. And it's not easy, but the more you do it, it becomes a habit and it comes out naturally.
Dina taudako. Vinaka wakalevu, Mrs. Amele Tabuya Tarakinikini, mai nonda bulangin toka i tuku na kawini kua, sa kero mai sivia toka na ngauna, dando mai dawakina nonda programu, ya senga na lenga, e to toka saranga wakoti, na Veitalanoa, se manindota langauna ni vinakata, me datu mai Veitalanoa, ngona nonda to wata. Ke wakaitu, e sana nomuni wakatatara, be kia mni na sema tiku mai na kawini kua, ni nangeli rongo da talembeka na Veitalanoa go, dua talembeka na ngauna, tumbeka sana kau ni via taronga vi Mrs. Tabuya ninguém vola nga mai senga na lenga sa wakareta ka tu e koe ni satu wakarau mena do wase ani na veka so ke wakaro ni dona ka e roni na bukeke mani roni ni na bulikina e asan do na toso lewu sando na anga ni Veitalanoa na ka viniku ai no mani toka ni go una buninda kuan dana ge me berongo din domo talitiko e na lama ni vida na singa mai ngo o sa wakununi tiko ni sana mai tomana tiko na venga ravi na ka vini mataka tupe bula vinaka tupe. So wat si bitangona vitu e na ruasanga vulika walu no miniti me adava na ngauna dana ge me veronga din domo talitiko kena no mani tokani ono buninda kua ni te wakadiango toka